What's up, everybody? Do I have a treat for you? This is the Store Championship event, and I've got the honor of commentating, but also judging this event as well, which allowed me to kind of set up cam here. And this is table one, so this is round one, table one. Got good old Kid versus Blackbeard. Kid did win the die roll, so that means Kid is going to go second. Going to try to take Blackbeard off of its preferred curve, and just going to play out a Shirahoshi. Blackbeard able to establish the stage on one is pretty good, getting a card out of hand that maybe isn't so good, that I bid 500 million. Not a great card from hand, great trigger from life though, and we're going to see Lafitte come down. Look at the top five, try to pick up something pretty nice here. A few choices from amongst those, but did see a Kuzan kind of float to the top of the hand here. Kuzan, pretty solid card. Just a great way to get things like Burgess back into play once you've used it for leader ability. Also really good at just drawing you a card as well. So a lot of upside to playing Kuzan. Really hard to remove. The fact that you honestly can't remove it unless you attack into it. But what Blackbeard player would give you the opportunity to do so? Kuzan to hand, and then I'm going to go ahead and use full lead here. Full lead remained tapped from the previous turn, but opponent's going to go ahead and discard a full lead. Grab another Kuzan. So two Kuzans in hand here. Opponent Blackbeard is on the 5 Dawn turn, or on the odd curve. So we'll be on 5 Dawn next turn. Could potentially play a Kuzan. Maybe even discard a Burgess and play a Kuzan out to bring that Burgess back. Blackbeard's going to swing 6k into Kid. Kid's just going to take it, no trigger off of life here. With Kid being on the even curve, we're going to see a pretty straightforward game plan likely here. This could be the turn that he just establishes a Hawkins. Hawkins being a fantastic threat against Blackbeard just because of the pressure that it amounts here. Whether it's swinging at life or potentially just getting killed incidentally and draining the opponent's life as well. So it's a pretty great threat for Kid to see on curve here. And 5k into the Lafitte. Solid play. Lafitte is just going to be a constant way for Blackbeard to keep finding new tools in this matchup here, trying to get to the 10 cost Blackbeards as quick as possible. And we're going to see an activation of full lead. Going to discard one of the Kuzans. Already has one in hand. Ends up picking up, might be the first 10 drop of the game here. Can only kind of see my opponent's hand, the opponent's Blackbeard's hand. And we're going to go ahead and activate good old... I have no idea what that card's called, but Black Hole, I think. And Black Hole, very nice card, allows you to negate the ability of the character you're targeting, so able to KO that Basil Hawkins without activating its on KO effect, which would have made Blackbeard trash alive, so pretty solid there. The 6k going into the lead, opponent Kid's just going to take it, and we're going to see an activation of Blackbeard at the end of turn, discarding the Shiryu. So now those, unfortunately, those one-drop Searcher Luffy's not going to be valuable at this point. We'll see if it ends up just being something put into play just to have a body on the field, because those bodies do matter at the end, right? You can attach 3 Dawn to a Luffy to swing 5k at lead at the end of the game, and opponent plays it. Honestly, kind of looks like they forgot that Teach his leader effect was in play this turn, and was about to look at the top 5, but they could not because the on play was negated. We're going to see a Kiko Nojo come out. And then likely this is going to be a 6k from leader into the Blackbeard here. Blackbeard likely just going to give up that first life pretty easily, but also maybe thinking a little harder, because often, especially against Kid, a lot with the 8-drop Kid and Hawkins just kind of incidentally taking life from you without getting around your your on play negation is pretty solid. Actually, is Kid's an on play? That's a good question. I don't actually know. I've never actually played the card. We'll look at it in a second. I think Kids actually might be an on play. So maybe not maybe something that doesn't matter in this matchup. I think Hawkins might be the only decent card for trashing in this specific matchup, because I think most of the other cards are on plays. Full lead pitching, another full lead. Yep. Gonna throw those on the bottom. Gonna grab a Shiryu. I think opponent maybe thinking that they made the wrong decision there, rather than the 2k to hand, but decided to go through with it. We're gonna see an 8k swing go into lead. Notably, Kid has yet to give anything blocker. That Luffy could have been given blocker, but instead we're gonna see double 2k coming to hand, and we're gonna see a nice little finger pistol. Kiku Nojo does not trigger if the opponent has 4 or more life, so only 3 or less. So no gaining life for the Kid deck. Pretty unfortunate. Pretty solid on the Blackbeard side. Kind of seeing everything they've needed so far except for a threat. Would love to see a Burgess at this point. I think the Kuzan is still in hand at this point. I think they're just digging. I don't think they've seen a Burgess yet. And gonna go to opponent's turn here. I think there was definitely a pitch from leader, just because we're going up to the 8 Dawn turn. Want to try to turn that Kid off, because I think the kid leader or Kid player definitely has. Yeah, there's a Kid in the left side of the hand there. Also has that lol, just a 9k body at this point. Pretty solid, though. Kid does have that secondary ability, right, to cycle you 1 card if your opponent's at 2 or less life. Got to climb a bit of a hill to get there first, and we're going to see 1 Dawn set aside. Looks like a lol is going to be coming out. Lol, unfortunately, no on plays for the lol. Going to get a quick read there, and send a 6k at lead. Lol just there for a stat stick at this point. 9k body, pretty solid, and we're just going to get a 2k out of opponent's hand here, out of Blackbeard's hand. And Blackbeard's going to go back to Blackbeard. Blackbeard's on the 9 Dawn turn. Unfortunately, because they lost the dice roll, they got to wait 1 more turn before they can start slamming down the big Blackbeards. But it's almost time here, but unfortunately, a lot of the early aggression from Blackbeard has been missing this game. Notably, no Burgesses coming out right now. And instead, we see a Katarina Devon, another tech card for the Blackbeard decks. You saw I bid 500 million, which is it's just kind of like a tech card for this deck. It has a really insane trigger of a KO a 6 cost or less. Also, incidentally, has a modal ability of 4 different effects when you play it. Some of those effects are actually pretty decent in the mirror. I think one of them bounces a character in black, which is pretty good against Burgess in the mirror. But that's why that's in there. But Katarina Devon, another card that Blackbeard players have started to make room for, just because it's just a nice blocker here in the early game. We're going to see Kuzan come down. Is Kuzan going to be immediately activating, or is Kuzan just going to be hanging out? Opponent could Blackbeard could leave Kuzan up for a turn to potentially swing in once and then get the effect, just because Kuzan cannot be removed. Right, but there's the fear of potentially resting it and swinging into it with KO. So we're going to see an activation of Leader, and then we're going to see Kuzan activation, bringing back the Devon, drawing a Blackbeard card here. Pretty solid effect here. Just a little bit of clarification on this. Just oh, Katarina Devon is a Blackbeard pirate. Yes, indeed. And Kuzan can put that directly into play. It's 5 cost or less. From the trash, right into play. Katarina Devon likely going to get an activated ability here, giving it blocker. Does have a whole list of abilities that you can give her, but I think blocker is probably the most important one at this point, at least for this turn here. But next turn could give it double attack, could give it banish, right? And we're going to see a swing here. Kiku Nojo off life, not enough, too much life for the Blackbeard for Kid to activate that here. And Kid's hand starting to brick up a bit. Ended up finding another Kiku Nojo, which isn't incredibly I don't know. It's a pretty solid card, but once you see too many in hand, it is also a brick. So opponent's gonna go ahead and activate, play out both Kiku Nojos. Again, absolutely no reason to play out the Kid at this point, just because it's just got no on play. But we're gonna see a 7k lead, 7k into lead here. We're going to see a block and then a 2k come out. We're going to see a 9k at lead, just ignoring the Katarina Devon here. And looks like a potential trigger coming out here. If it's a kill trigger, you could try to kill the Kiku Nojo, but the Kiku Nojo will gain a life for the Captain Kid. And maybe a bit of a sequencing here. Maybe should have played out the characters after this, just because Blackbeard's starting to run a lot of really good triggers. They've got, like I said, I think that's I bid 500 million, currently on debating on whether he's going to use it, but it kills a 6k or less. But because this now takes Blackbeard down to 3 life, those Kiku Nojos are active, those Shirahoshis are active, so whatever he decides to take out is going to gain a life for the opponent here. So we're going to choose to KO a 6 cost or less, or no. Is it? Oh, oh man, I need to read that card. I gotta pull it up. What does that card do? Does anyone know what that card does? That card was printed 5 sets ago. What does this card do? Oh shoot, yeah. So KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less, or return it to its owner's hand. So it's not just a KO effect; it is a bounce effect instead. And looks like nice, because it looks like Blackbeard player decides to just put the Kikunojo back in hand instead of giving their opponent an additional life here. We're going to see an activation of stage, grabbing a Burgess, and then we're going to play down the big back Blackbeard himself. Gonna stun the Law and go ahead and swing a 5k at lead here. Kid's got a few 1ks you can use, all on plays that are not going to be probably being activated at any point here, and see what he decides to do. Could just give a 1k, pretty simple 1k, and then now I think there's an activation. This might be double attack here, swinging a 6k with double attack, or no, this is banish. Okay. Solid. If it was double attack, I'd assume we'd see 2 1ks come out of hand here, but it was in fact banish, which took away a 2k out of life here, and not looking too good for the kid player right now, especially if Blackbeard sees another Blackbeard. But notably, Blackbeard getting a little low on hand size. Is probably going to take at least 1 hit this turn to just try to refill a little bit. You know, being at 3 life is a pretty solid spot for a Blackbeard player that's on the 10 Dawn curve. And on plays are still turned off for this turn. Notably, the 7 cost Law is also abilities negated and cannot attack. So not really a threat that needs to be worried about, even though it's that big old stat stick that was played down a few turns earlier just to be that big old stat stick. And a little bit of thinking here what needs to be done. Good question. It's a good question. I mean, could play out bodies to the board just to get bodies to the board. Could do a little bit of swinging with some of the stuff on board. I mean, Blackbeard only has 1 card in hand, only has 1 blocker up. We're gonna see a Kikunojo come down. Could use the other 6 Dawn to swing like 7k, and then like another 7k, and then like a 6k. You could go like 7k. I think you could do 7k, 5k, right? Which would be 6 more Dawns. So could just do that just to keep poking the opponent here. And looks like we're gonna see. I think that's a 7k going into, or no, is that, how much Dawn was that? I think that was 2 Dawn attached. So this is an 8k going into a 6k. We're gonna see a block here. Is that another Dawn? I think that's yeah. Only 4 Dawn left. We're gonna see another 7. This time's a 7k going in, potentially into it. We're gonna see a 6k going into it. Is that a? I cannot see the Dawn there. I think that's just a 5k going into lead at this point. Deciding to switch gears and stop going into Devon, because Devon is a 6k. And there must be 1 Dawn attached to that kid. I cannot tell. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a good question. We're gonna see a 5k going to lead. I'm pretty sure there's a Dawn under that kid, but if there isn't, am I missing something? Because Katarina Devon is a 6k. Opponent's gonna activate. Blackbeard's got a trigger out of life, pulls a Kuzan to hand. Kuzan's gonna be a potential way to bring something else back on this next turn. And we're gonna see a flip up. We're gonna target Law and give it blocker. Notably, Blackbeard's effect does negate the effect for like the current effects, but now a new effect has been added on top. So it does in fact have blocker going into that turn and the next turn. So a 9k blocker here, and notably, I think this is a section where a judge call is going to be made, and you may see my hands make an appearance potentially, but okay, there was no Dawn under that kid. I don't think that swing should have happened. There was no way for them to get buffed. Devon was a 6k. That Devon shouldn't have died. Well, it looks like a misplay. Unless I'm completely missing something right now. Oh no, there's the Dawn. There was a Dawn underneath it. It's just the big case on the leader hid that Dawn. So pretty hard to see. Not a huge fan of laying the Dawn like directly under the character to where it's kind of hard to see. I typically put the Dawn like perpendicular to the character, so Usually if I'm swinging with it, it's going to be sticking out, and you'll pretty clearly see how much Dawn's attached to it. But it looks like here comes the good old me judge. Basically, the question was, can Kid's ability be activated on a character that is active? And that is correct. Kid's ability can be used on a character that's active, because it is set up a character and then give it a blocker. You can still target an active character. They just can't set it up, right? So that part of the effect's invalid, but the other side of it, giving a blocker, is still a very valid effect. And I just answering that question for them. But have a nice little 9k blocker now. 1 life for Kid. Does have an ace. We did reveal an ace in life. Ace is but yeah, that's just me correcting it. Just they're playing out how that happened. But it's funny enough, sneaky Dawn underneath Kid. But yeah, with a brick in life, maybe a few bricks in hand, this could be a pretty good turn for Blackbeard. But Blackbeard's gonna need a few more characters here. Does find another Blackbeard here off of the stage activation. Managed to pitch at least 3 other stages to the full end stage this game, which is pretty crazy to see all 4 stages in the top like 30 cards of your deck. But funny enough, only seen 1 Burgess. So because Blackbeard missed out on the Burgess earlier in the game, this late game is actually going to be pretty tough for Blackbeard. With only 4 cards in hand, gonna go to at least 2 cards at the end of this turn, because we're going to see likely the Blackbeard come out, as well as an activation of leader effect. And yeah, Law being a 9k, a little annoying, right? Pretty easily blocks the 5k swing. And then the 12k could just get chump blocked by the Shirahoshi. Could also just let Kid go down to 0, but I don't know if I mean, Blackbeard doesn't really have any ways to get around that. They could like play a card to negate the effect of something to stop the blocker, right? So Tin Beard coming down would stop the block effect on Kid. So that should be interesting. I think it does. That's interesting, because it's like an ability given by someone else, but it's an ability that's applied, so it's on the character now. And then you can negate. I think you can negate that ability for that specific character, not for all characters. So like, Sabo gives protection to everything. You come in, you negate Sabo. It doesn't stop his ability for everybody else. It just stops it for Sabo. So opponent thinking pretty hard here. A bit of a delay with the judge call, but likely you're just gonna slam down the Blackbeard, negate the ability on Law, shut down Law for another turn. But instead we're gonna just see a 5k. This would be like I feel like either a 1k from hand or just like a snap block. But because the 12k is coming down, could just clean up the Law here. But we're gonna see a 12k go. We're just gonna get the Shirahoshi. I told you the Shirahoshi was gonna hang on the board for most of the game until it started to matter. And Kid did not want to go down to 0 life. Definitely does not have enough to block that, and did not also want to give up the Law, which is a good indicator that the opponent, the Kid player, does not have a 2k in hand. I think they have 3 1ks and a Kid at this point. All on plays that I don't think matter at this point. I think we did see another discard. Yep, down to 1 card in hand. And yeah, should be interesting here. 1 card in hand, 2 life, a blocker. We could see Kid getting out of this potentially, right? We could see like 7k. We could do like 7k, 8k, 9k with the Luffy blocker. 7k, 8k, 9k. I think that's how that. I think that maths out. No, wait, no, it doesn't. That does not math out. That'd be 7k. You could do 3 7ks and an 8k with the amount of Dawn that you got, or you could do 3 7ks and a 9k. 3 7ks and an 8k. Yeah, 3 7ks and an 8k. Man, math is hurting my brain right now. But a little bit of a tank here. None of the cards in hand do anything in this moment. Just establishing another body on board. So Kid player likely thinking about going for a play to try to knock the opponent down to at least 0, especially with 1 card in hand. A 7k swing gonna be relatively free, but I think this is, again, Don's hiding underneath the leader case, so I think that was a 6k hit. Might have been a 7k. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was a 7k hit. So we've seen it for a 7k. So opponent's kind of leaning down the same path I was thinking. We could see a second 7k here, and then maybe an 8k. 7k number 2 coming through. Don't know. There was no trigger off of life off the first hit. Maybe not even enough counter in hand here, and another take here. I think at this point, I mean, you don't really have much else to do. You don't have a blocker in hand to play out. You have to try to go for game this turn, and this is incredibly tough. Let's see here. Is that 2 Don underneath? So 8k. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Don. So then it'd be 7k. I would have definitely done 7k, 9k. All right, but it didn't matter anyways. Opponent only had 2k counter in hand, so that other 7k was still enough to clear it, or 8k was still enough to clear it. But I think I would have done 7k, 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 9k at that point. Just kind of hope your opponent doesn't hit what they need to hit. And yeah, Blackbeard narrowly loses the game there against a Kid just going wide. Kid was definitely dead on that next turn for sure. But that's it. Round number 1, Kid takes it over Blackbeard. If you enjoy this type of content, definitely subscribe. We're going to have all the rounds from this tournament, as well as another tournament in the next few weeks that I'll be judging going up live here on the channel. Anyways, if you enjoy this type of content, definitely subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.